start with the sort of history of the project from Bandung to Berlin because it's actually a open and long-term platform for collaboration, which started in 2014, where I had my residency in Paris in Google Cultural Institute, and I initiated a website called From Bandung to Berlin to investigate the spatio-temporal distance between Bandung 1955 and Berlin 1989, because I'm interested with how different social coordinates emerge from different parts of the world, while what we know about the history of Cold War was actually always in the Euro-American horizon. And in 2014, that was the time when I first have connection with Renan. The project then invited several artists, curators, and researchers from Asia, from Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, China, and we tried to create speculative and fictional narratives in order to open up new histories of Cold War in Asia, because a lot of things that happened in Asia at that time are not properly represented. Since then, the project evolves into different kinds of socialization.
I think it was crucial for us to identify this iteration as a curatorial period, and therefore we were thinking about modes of presenting or modes of display, with an idea that we didn't really want to make a regional exhibition, or we don't want to make a historical exhibition, or in a way some sort of an essay exhibition. So we committed to the idea that it is a displays research scenography, in which one of the many factors in terms of selecting the artists and the archives is to look into artists that are not just talking about the issues that we wanted to present, but also doing a lot of research around this. So this kind of dense contributions into this so-called displays research scenography. Another idea is how do we move from the flow chart, I guess. So we always work with flow chart. For the past two exhibitions, we presented the flow chart. And then we thought that it might be more interesting to add three amplitudes into this margin. So it seems like we're sort of fixated in the 1955 and 1989 Bandung conference. So we wanted to put three other coordinates within these, namely the Marshall Plan in 1946, the Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, and then the construction of domestic satellite system in Indonesia. And then from that, we wanted to have artist contributions that would also challenge the, let's call it, ideological position, I guess, or the multiple ideological positions that From Bandung to Berlin presents. So the working with artists here is really key into this sort of trying to realize this displays research scenography. So it was also crucial for us to place the discursive events actually and the artistic works on the same plane. And I'm not sure how successful we are in that sense, primarily because we're also responding to certain audience aside from material resources.
So in a way, as you can see in the exhibition, we still try to work with the flowchart, but in different way in which we put it. The form of the flowchart are abstracted in the floor, and artworks that are pop up in this gallery space, and all the discursive events are creating connection, but also disconnection to the way we think about the flowchart. So it's not only the content of the flowchart, but also the way we think about flowchart as a speculation rather than a journey from one end to the other end.
When we decided to present Huruyan as the first performance, it was exactly because of this reason of thinking about sweating. And we're very much inspired with Huruyan's Solar Meltdown because it really talks about this kind of connection of the museological and this possible and this idea of coming from behind. Is it actually possible to come from behind and actually see this exhibition in a way that it's not informational? It's not a way of talking about just a region or a timeline in history.
Important part of the way we design the exhibition is as Renan said, it's a displaced research scenography, and the way we see research is an endless movement of accumulating knowledge, but how to think about it in a form of exhibition. What we do is we open the gallery with only archives and one video work from Virlani Rupini. After that, the next 3 days, the 3 days events after the opening are somehow accumulating knowledge, ideas, but also sweats through bodies by collecting people and encountering conversations. So the idea of From Bandung to Berlin as a long-term project is still there. And the spatial temporality between 55 and 89 are not close, just between that historical moments, but really actually beyond it.
And I think the exhibition From Bandung to Berlin, If All of the Moons Align, really starts with this kind of performance of weakness, but not essentializing weakness. This kind of notion that there's a good exhibition and there's a tight exhibition according to the selection of works, according to the selection of your panel for public events. So what's interesting for us is that because it's also parallel to one amplitude that we're looking into, which is the Marshall Plan, where it's a U.S. program where they funneled funds in Western Europe after World War II. So that question of how can you recuperate from that position of weakness, and then what's the experience actually within the exhibition space where you start with almost nothing, and then what does it actually mean to see the works in progression, and what's the difference from seeing the works from that opening until the opening, the exhibition closes with this notion of complete, you know.